Okay, that is not very realistic. That would probably pull her arm straight out of her socket. And two, why is the elevator on the outside of the building? Like, why are all the cables exposed like that? Doesn't make sense. But
Relocated now to some
it's a video
consistent
game, so,
ventilation to torment me.
just kind of gotta roll
One of
with
the
it,
great
right?
marvels is that entombed beneath our monastery is the body of Teoken, one of the three legendary rulers of the lost continent Atlantis, and that with him lies his piece of the Atlantean Scion, a pendant divided and shared between the three rulers, which curbs tremendous powers. Powers beyond the Creator himself. My toes sweat at such possibilities, lying so close to my mortal self. Each night, I beat myself rid of these fantasies, but it is indeed a test.
Pierre, you litterbug.
Alright, welcome to the second area of the game. So, in that little clip, we find out a little bit more about uh, the the villain's sort of motives and what she's looking for. So I decided to like replay this level because I was trying to get a certain secret that I ended up not getting because it required a bit of luck and there wasn't a save crystal right before it, so I would keep having to like redo this opening section a few times, and I was just kind of getting tired of doing that. So that's one of the few secrets that I'm not going to be able to get, unfortunately. Okay. So now that you've killed those two lions, you can do that safely from that ledge that I was on. They won't be able to get up there, and you can kind of just pick them off as they come nearby. Although, I will say, enemies do have this tendency in the game where once they've sort of registered enough hits, like enough damage, they'll kind of try and avoid you, which makes killing them a lot more annoying. Or at least that's what I've found in the past. Alright, so first you should move that block back onto the first Omega symbol and then move it forward onto the second one and then move it all the way forward. Um, this door will open and these gorillas will come out once you've entered the threshold. Yes, gorillas. Because apparently there's gorillas in Greece. Again, I want to know how these things survived. Like, because someone had to put these things in here at one point or another. But there's no way that they would be able to survive. Or, like, obviously, not surviving thousands of years. Like, one can't survive that long. Um, but, like, even as a lineage, that would. You have to have, like, a certain size population in order to not have issues uh, like, inbreeding. So I don't believe there's anything else in this room, which I will say that is one of the weird things with this game is it feels like there should be more goodies hidden in some of these areas because there are like little nooks and crannies in this game that feel like they should have some type of reward for going there. All right, so after you left that room, this guy will show up and start shooting you. So, just jump around the pillars a little bit, and he'll eventually go away. Once you've hit him enough. He's not very difficult at this point. And once you've hit enough, registered enough hits on him, and he goes out of sight. So just like if you jump behind a pillar, like how I did, he'll go away. That is the DuPont guy, Pierre DuPont, or whatever his stupid name is. No offense to anyone who is actually named that, but like this guy in the game, that's his stupid name. Okay, so it's a pretty simple puzzle. Just face this first slope here. Do a jump onto it, continuing to hold the jump button and then holding the grab button, and you can get up here pretty easily. Then you want to face this ramp and just continue doing the same thing. All right, do not be tempted to go down that breakable floor. If you do, you will more than likely die. I'm not sure if that fall is deadly enough. I think it might be, but you'll definitely lose some health for sure because there is no ramp there. It feels like they had put it there thinking that there was going to be a ramp, but that's one of the kind of dickheaded moves in this game. And we will start to see more and more of those type of dickheaded moves later on. For the first sort of like level, it's actually pretty good. Like they don't really throw a whole lot of dickheaded moments at you. I do really enjoy seeing like some let's plays of this where it's played by someone who's probably been playing the game for since it's been out, and how like fluid they make Laura seem is just kind of amazing. Like they're just doing flips and jumps everywhere because they know the mechanics like down pat. All right, so this is the only secret that I was not able to show off because it relies on a bit of luck and positioning. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to be able to backflip onto that platform back there. But if you miss it, you fall into the water, and the only way to try again is by restarting the level. Now, if you're not playing the PS1 version or the Saturn version, and you're able to save whenever, it's not that bad because you can just save right before this section. But unfortunately, since I am playing the PS1 version, I can't save anywhere, or just anywhere. I can only save at save crystals, which there was no save crystal before that, so in order to retry, I would have to play the entire level again. Alright, so now that you've drained the water, it makes fighting this guy a little easier. You can at least, fight back compared to being completely helpless in the water. All right. So now we come to probably the area that you're going to die the most in the early game is this room, because it's essentially a vertical shaft, and it's very hard to kind of lose yourself and lose where you're supposed to be jumping or doing something silly like misposition jumps, which result in you falling to your death. Alright, so in this room, there are 4 switches. Each one is on a different level, and it affects a different door. My recommendation is to just try and get all the switches done first before attempting any of the rooms. So we saw one up there. There's one right here. Then I know there's one on the bottom floor, and I think there's one in between the bottom floor and this one. So again, be very careful with your jumps here, because one wrong jump can result in you falling to your death, especially if you're higher up in the room. I think I can hear it. Yeah, there it is. So there's a lot of bats in this room. They're not, again, bats don't really do a lot of damage, but they're annoying to hit, and the sound that they make just annoys me, so it always makes me nervous when they start like flapping around, because you never quite know where they're going to come at, because they do home in on Laura's location. Okay, I believe they're, yeah, like that. They just kind of show up out of nowhere, and they're kind of annoying to hit once they get close to you. So in this room, there are actually quite a few save crystals. So don't go getting all the activating all the save crystals at once. You need to ration them. That's why I would recommend doing all the switches first, then doing a save crystal, and then start attempting, and probably do like 2 of the rooms, and then do another save crystal, and then like fight, because once you've gotten 2 of the keys, because spoiler alert, we need to get 4 keys in order to open that door down there. And in order to open that door, we need 4 keys that we get from each of the 4 rooms. I'm just gonna kill this bat. That's what annoys me, is when they just kind of show up. You're not really expecting them, or you can hear them but you can't see them because Laura's vision is a little limited. I don't think a fall from this height would kill you. I could be wrong on that. I don't know how many blocks it takes to like kill you, but if you hear Laura scream, that means that you're going to die. You might take a little bit of damage. So, as you can probably tell, that is a door that we did see the switch towards the top. And the way to open it is by standing on that switch. Now, I think it's a timed door. So you do kind of have to be fast with it. But I ended up finding a little workaround in the game. After hitting the switch, I ended up dying. But I had saved at that save crystal at the bottom. And that ended up, when I died, I respawned there. But then the door was open. So I ended up getting the goodies inside without having to, like, work my way down. I guess, if that makes sense. So, alright, so we're gonna save just so that all of our progress with the switches doesn't get, erased, because that would really suck. And then the first room we're going to do is Damocles. I don't really know this one. I know the other three, but this is the only one that I really don't know. And I don't know, it's kind of weird because, like, so there's Neptune, Damocles. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but Atlas and Thor, for whatever reason, which I always find really odd that Thor is, like, in here, since this is, a Greek temple. And Thor is obviously the god of hammers from like Nordic culture. Alright, so I am being very cautious here because I first played this game, these things ripped me to shreds. So if you're walking, you will more than likely be fine. I think they tend to... They home in on your position, obviously, because these things do fall a little towards Lara. That was me moving a little faster, and it ended up hurting me. So I don't know if just straight up walking will keep you safe, but it seems to at least help. So, yeah. Patience is definitely important in this room. Alright, so let's just head over to this exit over here. And damn, okay. The swords kind of blocked my way. So we gotta go around, unfortunately. Alright, we're home free at this point. I'm still being a little cautious, but yeah, once you get to the door, you're more or less safe. Alright. So the next room we're going to do is actually Thor's room, and I would say those two rooms in particular are probably the most dangerous of the four. I would say, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up between these two, because this one also has a lot that can instantly kill you if you're not being careful. So here's the gimmick to this one. Once you enter this room, there is an orb at the top that will shoot out lightning. And the lightning is more or less attracted to those metal squares that are on the ground. So you don't really want to be standing on them. I don't know the exact mechanics with that room, but you just want to avoid the lightning and be careful because it can instantly kill you. This is another instant kill trap. You gotta stand on that switch for a few seconds until you hear it fall. It's a giant hammer because it's Thor, obviously. I ended up just jumping back, and that seemed to be fine, even though it looked like the hammer hit me in the head and I probably should be dead. But it's a video game. Duh. Alright. So again, this is probably the most dangerous room. Like, the swords, if they land on you, they'll probably kill you. But I would say this one is definitely the more deadly of the two. Like, for sure, the hammer and the lightning will kill you if they hit you. So it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a pick your poison type of deal. I would say probably with the lightning being a little more random, that would make this room probably the most deadly. At least with the swords, it seems like if you're just walking, you should more or less be safe. Gives you a medipack because they know on your first time you'll probably mess up the jump, or something else had hurt you at this point. So running jump with a grab will get you across there. And you are rewarded with the Thor key. Missed opportunity to make the key look more like a hammer, but whatever. I don't really expect too much from a 1996 early PS1 game. Okay. So unfortunately, getting the key does not deactivate the traps, specifically the lightning trap. So you still have to be careful when you come back out here. Can't just go running around and hoping for the best. So I would recommend using the swan dive. That seems to be the recommended way of getting through that, getting through rooms with traps like that. And the way to do that is to hold down assuming you're using the same control scheme that I'm using, hold down the R1, or the bumper, I guess, and then hitting the jump button, and I think that the action button as well. So square and cross, and that I think will do it. So unfortunately we can't quite reach that platform there, so we got to kind of go in a slightly more roundabout way, which is the reason why this room in particular takes a little while, because of the slow going of traversing the shaft, the vertical shaft. But yeah, you should see some people who are like really, really good at the game, people who definitely have way more time to play this game, or have had more time to play this game, they're like flipping around and doing all this crazy stuff. They know exactly where like every platform is, and it's actually really impressive. Okay, so after you've collected 2 of the keys, this DuPont guy will show up down in the bottom here. So similar strategy to the previous fight, just kind of jump around and avoid him as much as possible. Once he's registered enough, once you've registered enough hits on him, he'll hide someplace and disappear. I think that means he's gone. I don't see him anymore. He hasn't shot back at me at all. So we can then head up to another save crystal. I don't know if it's necessary to save after defeating him. He's not super difficult to beat, but if you did it the way that I've done it so far, you should be able to use another save crystal and be fine, as long as you're okay with doing 2 of the rooms before the next save crystal. Which, the Neptune room is definitely the easiest of the 4. And the Atlas room is not too bad as long as you know what to expect. And even then, it's not that bad. Thankfully, we ended up landing on this platform, because it really would have sucked if we had fallen down before getting to the save crystal. So I'm actually getting ready for my trip at the moment. By the time this goes up, my trip will more or less be over. But I've been like scrambling to try and get all of my videos up before I leave. Within the last like 2 days before the trip starts. Unfortunately, it's been really slow going because of how slow my parents' internet is. So this past weekend, obviously a few weekends from the time that this is going up, I graduated and I moved back home, as I'm looking for a job. So I'm at home before I go on my trip with my dad, and I'm trying to get all this stuff uploaded in time so that I don't have to worry about it like on the trip, because I'm not really sure how my internet's situation will be when I'm not, home. Who knows? Maybe it might even be better than the Wi-Fi at my parents' house. Who knows? But yeah. So I just recorded this segment actually today, and now I'm doing the voiceover for it now that I have a little bit of time. but I have like a week's worth of content that I still need to upload, and then a few episodes that I need to figure out what to do. Because I've kind of used up everything, and since I have to, do like 3 weeks worth of content ahead of time, which is probably the most that I've ever had to do ahead of time. It's been a long couple days, to say the least. So as you start opening up or getting more of the keys in this place, each new key after the second one will unleash a lion. So it's a little hard to tell here because I think it's been like underneath this platform here. Yeah. You can use the look around button to just kind of get a better view of where it might be, and Laura might aim at it if you do that. So we wounded it a little. I think the easiest thing to do is to just jump down onto this platform and take it out normally. It's not ideal because, you risk getting hit yourself, but it was already pretty damaged and it was taking longer than I wanted. Alright. So we got one more room we need to do, plus a couple little goodies within this area that we need to just finish up. Yes, unfortunately you cannot grab onto those. That one's just a little out of your reach, so you do have to come back over here to the main shaft. Alright. So it's going to take a few minutes in order to get back up to the top. That's the kind of unfortunate part about this level. It is very slow going because of movement in a vertical direction. Going down too quickly result in death, and you can't go up very quickly because of just how platforming works in this game. So the final room that we need to do is the Neptune room, which I would classify as the easiest. So the Neptune room is all the way at the top. I think I heard some bats show up. Yep, and there he is. So I don't really want to backflip off of here because of the fact that I would probably fall through that hole, and that hole goes all the way down. So, yeah, one of those moments where the developers definitely knew what they were doing, specifically so they could screw over the player. And unfortunately, that is a reoccurring thing throughout the game, especially the farther in you go. Alright, so there is a current that pulls you down. Now, you can do all of this in one foul swoop if you are quick. So you need to come over to this lever, and the gate over there will unlock or open. It will never close, so you can leave and then go back. If you want to play it safe, you do what I'm doing right now and just going back up, resurfacing, getting enough air. But if you're quick, you should be able to just do it all in one foul swoop. Because I was thinking of a different part where you had to go a little farther through the door in order to get whatever item you were looking for and then head back up. In this case, the key is right there. You can just get it. And I probably would have had enough time to do it. All right. So, oddly enough, there's really no other things in this room, which is one of the things that I was kind of getting at earlier as to something that I kind of don't like is one, this little alcove back here. It seems like there should be something back here. Maybe they just planned to have something and forgot, or just didn't have enough time. The other thing is that it looks like it should be a door of some kind, but it doesn't seem to be. Alright. So now we need to start heading towards the bottom. This might be a spot where I cut stuff because the video is already kind of long and you don't really need to see me traversing the entire thing again. Okay, so you know that door towards the bottom? I believe this is the switch for it. Now, what I think you're intended to do is you're intended to kind of traverse your way down quickly so that you can get through the door after hitting the switch, because I believe it is supposed to be timed. Well, I ended up saving at this bottom crystal and then ended up dying because I was trying something else because the door had shut because the timer ended or whatever. Well, when I died, it actually ended up opening the door again. Yeah, see how it's closed? I think it's supposed to be open, or it opens when you save. Alright, so ended up dying here, trying to get that medipack. Which there's an easier way of getting to that. I just wanted to show off the death beforehand so that it would make a little more sense as to why this door automatically opened. Alright. We are rewarded with some magnums and magnum rounds and a medipack. And also avoid having to watch me struggle to get up there. I don't know, the one time I was trying to get up there and it was just not liking my positioning or something. Because I'd like go one step forward and I'd be underneath the platform and couldn't grab it. Or I'd be one step back and it would miss the platform and I couldn't grab onto it. Alright, so this is the easier way of getting it that won't result in you dying. So yeah, just do that. It's far easier. Less death. Less death is usually pretty good. Alright, so now that we have everything, we can actually start heading towards the exit. There's no other surprises. DuPont doesn't show back up in this level after that point. So my recommendation is to just go from left to right and use the key that it prompts you to use, because that's going to be the correct key. If you try doing things out of order, it's going to be annoying and it's going to tell you that the key was wrong. It's the wrong key or whatever. And yeah, I mean, that's the end of the level. Just unlock all the doors. I do like that it gives you the option to choose what you do first, in what order you do things. All right. So, just go ahead and head to the door, and that is it. So, unfortunately, Secret's 3 of 4 kind of sucks, but it's whatever. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.